Hey guys, Driver02 here. So I'm out in the shop. I'm just about to start just a small metalworking project, and I've actually got a tool review to do. So I've got one of those cheap eBay buys. It's an angle grinder chop saw stand. So let's go take a look at it. So here's the chop saw stand. Bought it off eBay, and I'm quite impressed with it. So it's a generic one. It's designed to fit pretty much any 1/2-inch angle grinder. And as you can see, I've got a Mastercraft brand bolted into it, and it fits just fine. Overall, my first impressions of it were pretty good. We just take a quick look at the fit and finish of it. All the parts are nicely powder coated. All the bracketry and stuff up here is cast aluminum. The base is actually cast iron, and so it has a good solid heavy base on it. It feels pretty good and heavy and sturdy. It's not gonna, wander around too much on you. It wasn't overly difficult to figure out how to assemble and to get this grinder to fit in there. I did have to play around with the adjustments and get everything just right so that it fits. And you got to get your two, you got a stud up here and one down below. You got to get them just perfect so that you have a good, your blade is perpendicular to what you want to cut. Otherwise your cuts are going to end up not square. One of the limitations I've noticed is when you bring the grinder all the way down, you're making a cut, the nose of the grinder right here is actually going to hit the clamp. Now, if you're just doing small stuff, you can still get away with that because it'll still fully cut below the level of the table or the level of the stand. But that might become an issue if you're trying to cut something a little bit bigger than, just 1/2-inch stuff, I guess. And so one solution to that I've thought of already is if you look here, this clamp is adjustable, so you can slide it back just so it clears. Sorry the lighting's not too good, but right now it's hitting the nose of the grinder, and if you move it back, a 1/2 inch or so, this jaw of the clamp would clear, and actually remove this one completely, and then just have a table vise sitting next to it. And you could clamp your material in that and not have to worry about any of this stuff. And that's how I actually use the one at work. So this is just pushed back a bit, and it's just there as a guide, sort of like a stop or a rest. Clamp it in your vise over here. You just got to watch the mark on your material. Start cutting, watch your mark, make sure you're in the right spot, and then you're good to go. So to demonstrate its functionality, I've got a couple pieces of material here. So we'll just make some quick cuts and see how well it works. Yeah, we'll just snug up the clamp. Okay. So that worked really well. I wasn't even putting a lot of force onto it, and it went through that no problem. It's not so much a function of the stand, but the grinder. But nonetheless, that cut like butter. So let's take that piece out. And I mean, if I wanted to, I could go ahead and deburr it like that, just like so. It's another thing it's handy for. You can just run the grinder with it in the stand to deburr stuff. That's I love using it for that. Try the piece of angle iron out. Gotta wind this all the way out. And I could loosen this screw to make it easier. But why make things easy? Okay. See if we can chop a little bit of this angle iron off. So again, for cutting through a piece of 1-inch angle, that was pretty quick and easy. I did reach the limit of my blade, but the blade itself is worn down a fair bit. I'd say it's down to, I don't know, under 4 inches anyway. So I just couldn't get that last little bit. So as you can see, it has its limitations. You're not going to be able to replace your full-size chop saw with, you know, something like this. But just for making small, quick cuts, even with, you know, having a vise or something set up here like a stop, you could set it up to make multiple cuts. You know, I think it's a good deal. I only paid $40 Canadian for it. That included shipping. So right there, I'm going to get my money out of it. I'll get my $40 worth of use out of it. So there you go, guys. That's my review on the eBay angle grinder chop saw. I recommend it. I say it's a good buy. I'll give it an 8 out of 10, simply because I got the issue where the nose of the grinder hits the clamp, and like we made that last cut, and the blade isn't worn out, or isn't fully worn down, but it's worn just enough to the point where it's not going to cut through. So you kind of got to replace your blades a little more often than, you know, you would with if you were just using it by hand. So there you go. Hope you enjoyed that. Hope you find that a bit informative. And until next time, thanks for watching. Take care.